Hello, I'm Sophia.
And hey, I'm Kristin, and we are
Under the Barbell.
Over the Bullshit.
And we're a podcast for women who are sick of being told to just eat less, move more, and what they really want is to get strong, take up space, feel confident, and age well.
That's what we're all about, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo.
So, wherever you are, grab a coffee or a pre-workout and hit play, because your anti-diet culture BFFs have arrived. What's up, you Bob?
Hey, you bobbers.
What's going on?
It's going. How are you?
I'm good. I've been waiting to ask you this till we recorded, but I need to see your shirt.
Oh, my shirt. Oh, yeah.
Your daughter. I gotta see what the rest says.
So it says protect your daughter with the line with it crossed out, and instead we should be educating your son.
Educate your son.
Yep. And I say that as a boy mom, so people don't come at me.
Yes.
I am a boy mom, and that is our responsibility as boy moms to educate them on what is consent, what is not consent.
Yes.
What is appropriate, what is not appropriate, whatever. And so rather than spending all of the time and effort that we put into teaching our daughters how to protect themselves and sheltering them from everything, maybe we should get to the root cause of why they need protected to begin with.
Good.
And
that's good.
One of those, it's not all men, but it is always a man. Most men, not to say women cannot do that. I'm absolutely not that insane, but yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so
I love that.
Cool.
Nice. It's finally so I have a jacket that I was just thinking about this today. Every year I post about it because Kiana fucking hates this jacket.
What?
It's so cool. This is the one piece of clothing I get the most compliments on. Every year, every time I wear it and I go out, I will get at least one comment.
And she hates it?
So unique. She hates it. It's unique. It's loud. It's like grandma-y. She thinks it's floral, a lot of little florals. And it's very warm though. It has a warm inside, a fuzzy and material. And it's just so funny. But every year I make it a point on my social media to be it's that time of the year. If you know, you know, because I always post about it. And I'm this is the jacket. It's coming back. And so when you see it, you'll be
yes.
Jacket. That's
just to hear your description though, I feel like it matches your personality. It's bright, it's bold, even the floor. I don't necessarily when I think of you, I don't necessarily think floral, but I can imagine a bright I don't know that to me that seems like it goes
yes.
Works.
And I've had people ask me where I've gotten it from, and I don't even know because it was a gift to me. One of my friends she actually lives in North Carolina now. Well, she maybe moved. I think she's still there, but she because she moved away and then moved back. But she gave it to me. Wait, no, she didn't give it to me. It was my old boss. I think because it was her daughter's. And then she thought it would fit me really well. So she gave it to me. Oh my God, what's happening? I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was my boss's daughter's and they were getting rid of it. And she was this would fit you really well. And I was oh my God, I love it. So I think that's actually where I got it from.
But either way, you have no idea where it's actually from. You need to do take a picture and do the Google image search thing and see if it pops up on any.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can if you go, you have to be in the Google app. You can't just go to google.com. It's in the Google app and there's a little camera icon and you can upload a picture and be find this thing. And yeah, so what's so funny, we did I did the breast cancer walk at, it was way back at the beginning of October, the 3rd or 4th or something. And we are just walking and it was downtown Nashville, and we're just walking, and a bunch of my girl gang, my clients came, and they were walking with us, and Kimberly was with us, and she's actually, you've probably seen me post on social media, her single just came out and whatever, and so she's a country singer, and we're just walking down, and she happens to see somebody sitting on a bench up against a building, way off to the side, and was wearing these bright, sparkly, glittery boots or shoes or something. And like, she was like, I need those shoes. And she literally took off running after her and like goes up to this lady and she's like, I love your shoes. Like, can I take a picture? Whatever. And so for like the next part of the walk, she's like trying to Google image search this lady's shoes to
Oh
figure
my
out where
god.
she bought. Because the lady was like, I don't know, I've had these for a while. I don't know where they're from. So yeah, so that's what we were doing on the breast
That's
cancer walk,
funny.
was trying to find sparkly shoes on Google.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
and even on the tag, I don't even I don't think I could tell even from the tag, but I'm gonna do that and see if it comes up. That's a good
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
had no
that might
idea that
work
you could do
too.
that.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
Like,
awesome.
I know, like, in, some of the I'm in a there's this Facebook group, it's a Nashville girls Facebook group, and it's a very wide range. It's, like, literally, like, teenagers all the way to, like, women, grandmas, and it's all women. And so it's a very interesting mix of posts and things that go in there, but a lot of times they'll post, wanting to get information about guys maybe they're talking to on like apps, like dating apps or whatever, just and they'll
Yes.
even ask like to make sure like, is anybody know anything about this guy? Like, is he already dating somebody? Is he a player? Whatever. And so people like will be like, because dating apps can be kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, people
Yeah.
aren't even necessarily always who they say they are, or whatever. And so they will go and do Google image searches on some of these dudes' like pictures just to like see what other stuff comes up on Google about them and stuff. Like, the things that they like, the FBI has got nothing on these women. I'm telling you, like, the things that they will come up with because of like Google image searches and all that kind of stuff is crazy.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh my god. Halloween is tomorrow, which is on a Friday. That's crazy. Are
Oh
you doing
yeah.
anything?
Um, I am so we usually just we chill pretty much. We always will try to find a new scary movie to watch. So I don't know how actually scary this one is per se, but we were at it was another parent on my son's cross country team suggested that we watch, it's on HBO Max. And I'm trying to remember the name, Weapons, maybe
Oh, we
it was
just saw
called.
that.
Is it scary? Like, or is it like because he was trying to describe it, like, he said it was almost like an M. Night Shyamalan psychological kind of thing, but it's your reaction, it was good?
Yeah,
I'm
I liked it. I think,
okay.
I'm trying to, like, think back to it. I remember some parts was like, "Holy shit," and, like, "What the
Mhm.
fuck is going on?" It was suspenseful scary, like, it was a
Okay,
good kinda scary, not, like, stupid scary, for me
okay,
anyway, you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, I did enjoy it. I liked it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's our plan is, well, Friday is bench press day. So I have to bench. And I always bench. I do Friday evenings because I want my husband to be there to spot me. So that's why so we do that so we eat dinner usually and then we just head out to the home gym and I do my workout. So
Dude, I
after
love
my
it.
workout, we will probably be watching. I might try to we'll see. I think I'm at the start of a block actually right now, a training block. So the weights are lower. So I actually might be able to do it without my husband. I don't know. We'll see. I might try to get it
Yeah.
done so that way we can spend most of our time, watching the movie and whatever. Or we might just do the movie Saturday. But my birthday was yesterday, so we were going to go to dinner Saturday, probably like
Oh, yeah.
for my birthday. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't really
Okay.
have any huge plans, but my son is apparently planning on going trick or treating with some of his friends, and he hasn't been trick or treating in legitimately probably 6 years, maybe
Yeah.
7. And now all of a sudden, these 16 and 17-year-olds are like, we're going trick or treating. And they are all dressing up like they're going as like a group costume and they're dressing. I don't know exactly what it is. He pulled up a picture, but it's these like green, not zombie, but like I don't know if they're like ogres or I don't know. It's these green characters of some kind. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what do you need? And he's like, I just need a green shirt. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to go to like Walmart. We don't have a green shirt, but we'll get you a green shirt. And I guess they've got like the full face body paint. They like, I don't know what it's all the kids from the cross country team are all like getting together and they're gonna
Oh,
go
fun,
together
okay.
as this like
Yeah.
group costume. So I
Nice.
am excited for that because my son's very like he's always been like very much of an old soul. Like
Yeah, I remember
even
you
when he
saying
was
that.
like 8, he's like 8 going on 30. And so when he was real little, he got into all this stuff, but it was even now, I realized the other day, like, we didn't even, like, get a pumpkin or carve a pumpkin or anything, and I just looked at him, he's sitting next to me on the couch, and I was like, Did you wanna carve a pumpkin this year?" And he's like, "I don't care." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I just don't want you to feel like you're, like, missing out on these, like, childhood, like, holiday celebration experience things." And
Yeah.
he's like, "I really don't care." I'm like, "Okay." And so he's just very much like, eh, like, if things happen, great. If
Yeah.
they don't happen, whatever. And so to see him, though, kind of excited about getting dressed up and actually going to do this is, like, super fun for me as a mom because it's like,
That's awesome.
this is like the kind I feel like these are the things that kids should be doing, even if they are when I was a kid, if you were 16 or 17 trick or treating, like you were a jerk. But now I'm like, hell no, man. Let these kids go. They're staying out of trouble. They're doing something innocent and fun. Like, let them
Yeah.
have fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's fun for me to see him like actually participating in this kind of stuff and getting
Yeah.
excited about it. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get some good pictures of the group and
I
see
could totally see
how it
him,
goes.
the response of like, "I really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't nah, whatever." I can, like,
He's
see it. This one
so
seems like a
chill.
cool thing.
He is
Yeah,
so chill, but he
yeah,
gets very passionate, like, the things he is passionate about, he goes crazy, like, he's
yeah.
very like, I mentioned before we started recording, he plans on majoring in political science when he goes to college in a couple years, and so political topics and, social justice type stuff and that kind of he gets riled up and
Ooh, nice.
he will
Yeah,
throw down when it comes to that, but then when it comes to all this other stuff, he's like, "Eh, whatever. I don't
whatever.
care."
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we were gonna go to a party tomorrow night, but neither of us wanna drink, and so we're not gonna go. Because if we go, we're drinking. We can't
mhm,
we're not gonna go to a party and not drink, it's just
yeah.
not gonna happen, like, no. But I have okay, so I don't remember if we talked about this, but you know the movie K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yes.
Okay, I'm obsessed, it's so good. So I was gonna be Rumi, and for anyone who doesn't know, which you should watch the movie, it's a really good movie, and the songs are awesome, but Rumi is the one with purple hair, she's, like, one of the main characters, purple
Mm,
hair,
got it.
and I went on Amazon and TikTok, and I ordered, like, 4 different outfits because I couldn't decide, like, first of all, the material, like, things look different,
Mhm,
size-wise, I don't know, just in case, and also there was a couple different outfits, so I got, like, 4 different things, like, just in case with the plans of returning it
yeah.
because it was it was not cheap. So, I'm gonna return things so that I can get the money back, but then just today, Kiana texted me and was like, "I don't know if I wanna go this weekend," or just said something like that. And, like which is fine because, like, I already knew. I'm a very intuitive person.
Yeah.
I just have this, like, inner knowing. She says I manifest things all the time, but I just knew it. I just knew it. And so
Mhm,
it didn't surprise me, but also I'm totally okay with it because I also don't want to drink. But I'm
yeah.
just sad because, like, I was excited to dress up and do my costume.
Mhm,
Haven't done that in a while.
yeah.
And, but I still plan to do it. I'm still gonna, like, try stuff on and just, like, for the fun of it. But then I asked my sister what she's doing and with the kids, bringing the kids trick or treating, 2 of them anyway, and or 2 or 3 of them. And, so I'm gonna see if I can go with them tomorrow because I haven't ever
There
gone with
you
them
go.
treating, and then if the
Oh.
outfit's not too scandalous, I'm gonna wear it. But
Yeah,
it
yeah,
might be
then you
like it's like a crop top, shorts, so we'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah, that's fun. Trick or treating with kids is so much fun because they get so excited, and then you get. I like to
Mhm.
even just see all the other little kids that I don't even know, like the other ones that are just out on the street and like watching them all like running back from a house, like guess what they name it.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
fun. It's such a positive, like happy vibe, like the whole thing.
Yes. Exactly, and,
Yeah,
they're just so cute, so it'll be fun and, take me back to when we used to trick or treat when we were younger, and I think we're gonna try and watch Halloween Town on Saturday and just get, like, snacks and like, a Halloween Town marathon and watch all of them. We'll see.
yeah,
But or if there's another scary movie out, we'll watch that, but yeah,
yeah. Well, that's fun.
yeah, so that'll be
Sounds
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay, let's
All right.
get into first and foremost, we wanna I think Kristen's especially, we wanna talk about something that came up
Mm.
on right, the previous episode, and
Yes.
in I'll just let you take it away, whatever you wanna say.
Yeah, so basically it's on our TikTok page and I posted a clip of from the breast cancer episode, that the bonus episode that we just put out, and it was a very, like, to me, when I when I saw this clip, I think it was like 19 seconds, and I was purposely looking for something that was under 30 seconds. And it was just a very, like, I thought, a seemingly innocent clip where I'm basically saying, like, don't be afraid of getting mammograms. Like, people are going to tell you that, how much this hurts and whatever. Like, don't let that fear stop you. Like, go get your mammogram. And I think, I don't remember exactly what I said in it, but I think I said, like, how I that it didn't hurt that bad. Like, it wasn't as bad as it had been, like, in my brain, between all the people telling me for years how much it hurt and whatever. To me, I was expecting this to be like, I don't know, like, the worst. And then I go and I was like, that was it. Like, really, that's all we got. I mean, it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't painless, by any means, but it wasn't what I had built up in my head. And so in this clip, I say something along those lines, but obviously in a much shorter fashion, because it was only like 19 seconds. And I said, don't let that stop you. Go get your mammogram. It's worth it to go get your mammogram. And only TikTok, no other platform seemed to have an issue with what I said. Only TikTok took issue with what I said. And basically, there's all these people on there telling me that, how, like, I'm discounting other women's experiences, and I'm telling other women to not share their story. And I'm like, hold up, like, that is not at all what I said. Like, but within the context of this tiny clip, I guess maybe I can see how it was interpreted that way. But, like, to me, when I posted that clip, that was not even a thought that crossed my mind. I was just
Yeah.
posting it purely to help other women hear a positive experience so that they didn't have the same fear I had. Like, in my head, that was why I posted it, because I thought I could help people by saying, hey, it's actually not so bad. Go get your mammogram. The interwebs had other things to say about
Yeah.
that. There was name calling. There were, like, personal attacks against me. All the things, and it very much got in my head, partly because I just don't like confrontation really at all, anyway. But then also partly because I was frustrated that I felt like I was being, like, I don't know, misinterpreted is the word, but
Misrepresented?
maybe
Oh,
misrepresented. Yeah,
yeah.
like, I was like, y'all, like, the things you guys are saying about me is absolutely not what I stand for or who I am or whatever. Also, I was frustrated that the broader message that I was hoping would come across in an attempt to help people was being completely ignored for this one piece when I said it didn't hurt that bad. And I'm like, okay, like, the point of this was supposed to be helpful and to help put people's minds at ease. And y'all are taking this to a whole nother topic, like, a whole nother
Yeah.
thing that is not, like, literally all I wanted to say was, go get your mammograms, ladies. That's all I wanted to say. Go get your mammogram. And
Yeah.
so anyway, so I ended up posting you actually, Sophia suggested, because honestly, y'all, I was like, I just want to take this whole thing down, because I just don't, the point I was hoping people would get from it, they're not getting. And I don't like
Some people did, though.
confrontation.
Some people agreed.
That's true. There were definitely were people agree. Yeah, you're right. So I was just like, I just don't want to deal with this. And I don't like the negativity from it. And I've been really trying hard this year. I think it was in the breast cancer episode, actually, where I mentioned, like, my word for this year is peace. And,
Yeah.
like, I'm just really trying hard to not involve myself in, like, internet drama in general.
Mhm.
And so, and just my nature, when shit hits the fan, and when, like, kind of with anything, or just even when I get overwhelmed or whatever, I shut down and I avoid. And so I know I've been very much working on that. And honestly, I didn't really even realize how much I did that until, I mean, therapy will bring light on a lot of these things that
Oh,
you
yeah.
do, but that you don't realize you do. But it was, a lot of it came just from, like, learning about my ADHD and, like, how it manifests and whatever. So I'm a lot more aware of it. And so I was catching myself doing that this time, which I typically don't catch it until looking back, I realize it. But in the midst of all of that, I was catching myself doing it. And I was like, you can't just avoid everything. Like, you have to, whatever. And so that's when I finally texted you. And I was like, I just opened TikTok, and what the fuck's happening, you know? And so then Sophia suggested, like, make, like, a response video kinda thing to, like, explain better where I was coming from. And so I was like, "All right." So I kinda went over and over this in my head a few times, like, what exactly do I wanna say? I wanna be concise, I wanna be quick, but I don't wanna be misinterpreted again, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, where's the
Yeah,
line? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so, on top of the fact that it was my birthday and I just did not want to deal with this negative shit on my birthday, there was just a lot. So I made the video and basically it was just like, okay, like I get what you're saying in the context of this tiny clip, but I need y'all to remember that this is like an hour and a half long conversation that happened. And within that time, here's what I talked about. And I kind of explained sort of as quickly as I could, but trying to be as thorough as I could about like my experience was that people made me scared of mammograms,
yeah,
and I avoided them because I was afraid of them, and I spent 5 years where I should have been getting mammograms every year, not getting any at all, and then the very first time I finally go, I end up with diagnosed with freaking cancer. Like, what if I had continued to be scared? What if the cancer was there when I was 40 and I didn't get a test for 5 years and now I'm stage 4 and, potentially not going to live. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, that's where I was coming from when I posted that clip. It was from that perspective of this could have been really bad for me, all because people made me scared and I avoided it. And I don't want other people to do that. And so I don't know. I have not been back on because, yes, I am avoiding. Uh, and so I don't know even if anybody replied. I don't know anything, good, bad, or otherwise from that response video.
yeah. I saw one person commented and she agreed, or she just had said, I don't remember. She was on like the side of like agreeing, but and then I commented too, but like it was, yeah. I mean, to your point, like it was your experience, and like the whole thing was talking about bringing the awareness up
Mhm.
and to not let fear stop you from doing that. But also, like, I had put in there, like, we didn't mean to downplay anyone's experience,
Right.
but that wasn't the point of, like, what we were trying to say. So we're not trying to, like, downplay other people's experiences. This was your experience,
Right.
and also to just, like, in general, to not let fear hold you back from something that's could be literally life or death, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Literally.
yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, so just to
So,
clear that up.
yeah, in case anyone if you saw that and you felt that from that clip that I posted, it's the only one I've posted so far. I will get more up now that I'm done avoiding the whole situation. But it was if y'all go back and you look, it was the very first one that I posted that was from that episode. And it was, like I said, it's only 19 seconds. And I think it was just pulled from a context that, like, I guess maybe because I knew the broader context, I didn't see how
Yeah,
that small clip could be misinterpreted, I suppose.
yeah.
So if anybody did see that, and if you felt like I was, downplaying anyone else's experiences or whatever, that is not at all the intention. It was really just coming from a place of, you know,
Passion!
this passion,
Yeah.
absolutely passion for sure. And I think that my husband said that really hit me, and he's right. He's like, oh, I mean, I'm just like tearing up because it's the passion. It's like I, whew, um, it it came from such a positive place. You know what I mean? Like I really want to help, and sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
This is where the shutting down happens because I
This is
just get.
it's coming out, yeah.
Mhm. Um, the whole thing came from such a positive place where I really wanted to do good and I wanted to help people and I wanted to share what happened to me because maybe it's currently happening to somebody else. And that person needs to hear somebody say, not get off and go get your fucking mammogram, you know? Um, and because it came from such a positive place, for it to be misinterpreted in such a negative way was like, it fucked me up.
Yeah,
Whew, sorry.
which is valid. No, don't
No.
apologize, first of all. Secondly, like, that is so valid, and that's I mean, and
Oh,
you're going to therapy for that, like, you know that this is something that, uh, when you avoid and then, like,
mhm.
this kinda happens, I think it's I mean, kudos to you because I feel like this is also helping you, not helping you through it, but it's like you're putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
and you're being positive and you're trying to, like, use that passion and help other people, and you absolutely whether someone is, like, listening and not saying, like, there's people out there who are, and so don't ever stop sharing because people need that, and that's always something we talked about this before in the podcast, but, I've always practiced, people are going to not like things that I say or
Mhm.
interpret it, whatever, and it can be really hard mentally when you're coming from that positive, good place of wanting to help
Yeah.
people, because I do that too, it's like, then I get in my head and
Mhm.
it really gets to me, and then it's like I shut down, I question everything that I do, everything that I say.
Yes.
So I get it.
That's why a post about from that episode didn't go up yesterday because I started questioning everything. I was like, "What what else might I post that might get misinterpreted and I might get attacked again?" You know what I
And
mean?
and you might, totally,
Yeah.
or I might share
Yeah.
something that is gonna be that way, but, we're not doing it for those people.
Yeah, you're
You gotta
right.
remember that. We're not doing it for those people. We're doing it for the people who do see it from that place and who need to hear that in that moment.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm working on it.
Not to make this a therapy session, but
No, but it's good though. It's good.
yeah.
And again, like even this, I'm sure there's other people out there that, react the same way I do to this stuff. And just to hear another person kind of validate that and just remind you like what really matters, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Do you
good.
know so this is totally not well, it's the same topic, but it's going okay, so do you know why you get this way? Like, why something like this, gets you and then you shut down? Do you know, the root of
Um
why?
well, I mean, to say this almost sounds like an excuse because it doesn't just stop here, but it is very much an ADHD trait. It's very common in people with ADHD where you sort of just stop, you shut down, and also the like replaying the whole thing in your head and like what
But
could
I
I
do
or
that a
should
lot.
I have done differently and
Oh
like
my god, yeah.
yeah, all that's a very, very common ADHD trait. And so it's like that almost sounds like it's like, well, I do that because ADHD. And I don't mean it like that. I just mean like it's I that is a common trait. So I know that maybe like I don't know if the source of it is the word is that, but also at the same time, like there's obviously other deeper issues behind why it manifests the way it does. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah,
know that there's definitely other things, and I don't know that I necessarily know exactly what those other things are just yet. I just know that I do it. And I am at least at the point in it where I'm able to recognize it. Like yesterday, I was able to recognize when I was in the midst of it and to not just shut it down. Like I didn't engage myself in it, but at the same time, I was like, I have to do something about it. And so that's, like I
mhm,
said, when I finally texted you. And because also, like I said, when we were off before we started recording, like this isn't just me, like this is also you. And it affects you and it affects this podcast and it affects like everything. And I can't just ignore that. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing I think in my brain if I'm ignoring or avoiding things that only impact me. But when I know that other people are going to be affected by whatever decision I do or don't make if I'm avoiding, then that's, like, not acceptable to me in my head, and so that really, I think, is the thing that kinda pushed me. I was like, "Okay, like, this is happening." It's, like, 30 some comments of insanity, and so, like, I have to address this somehow. Like, let me just send this text. And that's what all I sent was, "I just opened TikTok, WTF." Like, that's it. Because like, I didn't even have any other words in that moment. I was just like, just literally just, "What the fuck?" Because that is not what I meant. That is not and y'all are missing the entire point of what I wanted to get across, and, like, it was just so much what the fuck. And, so I am glad that I am at least to the point now where I can recognize it. And because before I wouldn't realize I was doing it until the consequences of my actions would catch up with me. And then I would be like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have avoided that. But I was like, I feel like it's progress in the terms of therapy, whether I know where it's coming from, I feel like it's at least progress that I was able to deal with it in the moment, even though there was
yeah,
definitely still some avoiding. I texted you about it. When I made that video, I posted the video, and I've been avoiding since. But I at least faced it and I dealt with it, which is honestly a very large step in the right direction for me
Yeah,
because
just don't even go look at the comments anymore.
yeah, I'm not going to. I was just going to open it and just tap that I saw notifications or just so the notification thing would go away. And then I
Yes.
was just going to move on because I need to go. I'm going to posting another one today. So I'm going to have to go in today.
Yeah.
So I was just going to like not even open that anymore and just be done with it because like it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Good.
So anyway, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Oh, also, I was gonna say, I love that you call me buddy. I'm your buddy. I've never like it's always been people are always like, yeah, my friend Sophia, or like, my whatever. But like, you specifically have always called me buddy, and I love it.
That is definitely a word, and it's not a word I use a lot. I mean, I do use it a lot, but it's not like I don't call everybody buddy. Like it's people that like I have some kind of like a relationship with or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
definitely a very positive like word that I use for people that even like with all the happy birthday messages, like sometimes it's just like, oh, thank you, or thanks. I call people friends sometimes too. I'm like, thanks, friend. But like
Yeah.
if I do a thanks, buddy, then that's usually like another level of friend. You know what I mean? It's like the next
Yes.
level, but it's like there's more of
Oh, yeah.
there's a little more. It's more like an intimate kind of word, I guess, if that's what you want
Yes.
to call it. But yeah, man, I like
Yes.
buddy. I think buddy's a
Like
cool word.
stranger, acquaintance, friend, buddy.
Buddy.
Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I remembered to bring that up because I was
Yeah, me
wanting to
too.
do that.
Yeah, I would have actually been very upset had we forgotten to mention it in this episode because it's so fresh. Like, y'all, we are recording this. Well, we just said Halloween's tomorrow, so today's the 30th, and this literally all just happened like the 28th and 29th. So
Yeah,
it's very
yesterday. Yep.
fresh. And then even when this episode comes out, it still won't have been that many days ago. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, that's that.
Yep. Yep.
Let's talk about this episode.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
topic, the actual topic of the day.
of the episode. This is so you may want to like kind of jump in and add to this because this was definitely your thing you wanted to make sure we talked about. But we're going to basically talk about the scale today. And by scale, we mean that little piece of metal that's in your bathroom that for some of you probably makes or breaks your day, things like that. And so we want to really address the scale and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly with the scale and alternatives to the scale. So,
Yes, I'm gonna hold my mic up like this because
yeah, your lighting is really great when you sit back like
yeah,
that.
and also like I'm like hunched back when I'm leaning forward towards
Yeah.
it, so I'm just like, here we
And
go.
honestly, really, like even your background, like the light, like you got a plant over there, like you're just like this is like you're looking good.
I love it. And actually, this plant, it's a money tree. And it's
I don't know
slowly
how much money
dying.
you're
Like, I'm
getting out of that
trying
money
to
tree.
I know. No, I know. But, like, there's supposed to be another, like, right here,
Oh
another,
yeah.
the branch of, like, a bunch of different it used to be, like, blooming. It was huge.
Oh.
And then it might be because I need to replace the soil because the soil is at
Mm,
least 2 years old, and
yeah.
so it could be because of that, or if I overwater it, or not enough
Yeah. And
sunlight, I
if it
don't really
got
know.
real big, it might have needed to get like repotted into like a bigger pot, like
Mhm.
so the roots could, that
Yeah.
might have been something
Yeah.
too.
So,
Anyway.
anyways, okay, and there's a bed in my background because we had,
Um
family stay, and so
actually
there's
didn't even notice
oh,
that.
yeah, you can't really even tell.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I need to get it out. Okay, so
Anyway.
focus. Focus on the scale. This is a very much like a bullshit thing because the scale is bullshit, really.
Mhm.
Depending on how you use it, right? Like,
Yes.
here's the thing is I'll say it right off the bat here. If you step on the scale and no matter what the number says, you feel pressured, you feel frustrated, it ruins your day, you become sad, you get pissed, you get upset, whatever it is. Why step on it? There's no use to stepping on the scale until you get to a point where it's a neutral feeling
Yep.
and that the number is just data. That's it.
Yep.
It's just data. Data, whatever. So, where do I even want to start?
Why
Where do
don't
I
you
want to start?
start with your experience with the scale?
Okay. That's good. Okay.
Your
And then
story.
I'm gonna pull up something on my phone. But So I was working. So for as long as I can remember, I shared a little bit about my story in like the first couple episodes, but as long as I can remember, as early as middle school was kind of when I first noticed. I think middle school, maybe it was high school when I started stepping on the scale. I would step on it every day. I wanted the number to go down and have it be less and less and less because that meant I was getting skinnier and smaller, and that's all that I wanted. And I thought that's what you needed to do. I thought that's like to be pretty, to be recognized, like all of those things, right? And it just kind of became ingrained in my brain. And it was also the same time when fat was bad and like you got to restrict foods and all of those things. And so fast forward to after college, I started working at a gym. And throughout all of these years, no matter what type of scale I stepped on, whether it was like just the body weight or it showed body fat and muscle mass and skeletal muscle and all of those things, even if my muscle was going up and my body fat was going down, which is what we want, and then regardless of what the weight says, no matter what, I still felt pressure because, oh my God, what if next time I step on it and it hasn't changed, or my muscle has gone down, or my body fat has gone up? And it just was like it never sat well with me. And so there was one day I was like, I'm going to not step on the scale for at least a year or for as long as it takes.
Wow.
I'm just going to not step on the scale. And what happened was it really like forced me, not even forced me, but it allowed me to look at other areas of progress. So I focused more on my relationship with food and I focused on getting stronger in workouts and adding more weights and stuff to scale to this to what I was lifting. I started focusing on like my internal thought patterns and it was still hard. Like I still, looked in the mirror and I maybe didn't like the way that I looked or whatever, but I stopped using the scale as a metric of progress, and that's when everything changed for me. That was, like, one of the moments, like, defining
What
moments.
can you think of a time or like what it was? Was it like did something happen or just what was it that made you realize I need to just not get on this thing for a while? Do you remember?
Yeah, honestly, it was I stepped on it and I realized I still had that pressure, like, no matter
Mm,
what, and I was in the thick of, like, starting to recognize my thought patterns and trying to change that and trying to, like,
okay.
love my body more or, like,
Mhm.
accept my body more, and it wa like, I remember the day. I remember it, like, I remember in the moment deciding to do that, and it really was just came down to it was after I stepped it was an in-body scan that showed
Mm,
muscle, body fat, all of those things, and I was like, realize that I'm, like, living according to this, like, everything revolves around it,
yeah.
and I was like, "Fuck it, like, this is dumb, I don't wanna do this." Like, it's again, it's that pressure, and no matter I realize, like, no matter what, it still controlled my attitude, my view, how I viewed my body and myself, and so because of that, that's when and also it's like, again, this inner knowing, like, I have this, like, intuition that is like, when I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just knew that that's what I was gonna do. And so, yeah, it actually was, I think, about a full year, and I knew, like, for me, I knew when I was gonna be ready to step on it, and it would have, like, a neutral feeling.
Mhm.
So about a year passed, and I was like, "I think I'm ready to step on it again just to see." And so I did, and it had, like, no I had no feelings towards it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it went up or down or what happened, but I had no feelings towards it, and I'm like, "Huh, okay, yeah." And, I'm actually gonna I wanna read this because then maybe
Mhm.
we can talk a little bit about this too, but this is a post, this is, like, in the caption, and before I say th read this, just know too that, like, the scale doesn't I've said this before to people, but, like, the scale doesn't give a shit that you have just done the of a better form of a squat. The scale doesn't give a shit that you're putting in effort and you're making small steps and you're putting in effort towards meal planning or you've just chosen a nourishing salad over
Mhm.
McDonald's, or it doesn't care that you feel more confident, you feel better about yourself. It doesn't
Yeah.
care that you are now starting to respect your body versus putting it
Yeah.
down all the time. Like, the scale
Yeah.
doesn't give a flying fuck about any of that,
Yeah.
okay?
And I think too is along all those things, but also, like, we have to remember what the scale's job is, and it literally is your body's relationship to gravity. Like, that's it. It's everything. It doesn't tell you how much fat you have gained or lost. It doesn't tell you if you're holding water because your period's about to start. It doesn't say, "Hey, you just probably need to take a poop." Like, you had some more salt in your meal, and so you're holding water. You had a great workout yesterday where you totally kicked ass, and so now your muscles are repairing, and we have water drawn into the muscle. Like, all of these things affect the scale, and they don't tell it the scale doesn't tell you that. It just is literally the number. And so I think it's so important to remember what it is and what it's not. And what it is not is going to say anything about anything except how much you literally weigh, and that's your bones, your blood, your poop, your food that you haven't digested, your muscle, your fat, your everything.
Yeah, it fluctuates so much because of those things. And yeah,
Yep.
like you like food that you ate a couple days ago, the salt, your period, when you're on your period, you're gonna weigh more.
Mhm.
And it's like I just like being out of the mindset of using the scale as the main form of progress or metric for progress. I like look at people and I just want to shake them. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and even when people tell me, "Well, I felt my best at X weight," and I'm like, "How many years ago was that?" And, like, you're in a totally different place, and your body is in a totally different
Mhm.
state even, like, as we get older, like, it changes, and, it's
Yes.
like I just wanna shake people, and the body that you want and that you do feel comfortable in now and more confident in now probably weighs more than what you think. So, people, it's like you're just
That's it right there. There's
hindering
the
your
clip. That's a social
Yes!
media clip. We're taking that one. That was the
Yes!
line right there. Is
Fuck
it
yeah.
for
But for
sure.
real, it's like it's gonna your body's well, so I even saw a quote once and it was like, "Would you rather have your dream body for, like, how it looks or your goal weight or, like, your dream" I fucked it up, I can't remember, but it's like, "Would you rather have a body that, like, looks the way that you want it to look but weighs more, or a body that weighs less, but it's not at all like what you want it to look like?"
Right.
Okay, so
Eh,
this is I'm gonna read this because this is from I had done a post and it's oh yeah, because I had said in the video, it took me 20 plus years to finally be able to step on a scale and be sincerely unfazed, unbothered, and meh, whatever about it. And then I was like, I'm gonna show you how to do it. And I took the scale and I threw it in the garbage. Like that was the video.
yes, I think I
But
remember that.
yeah. Okay, so it's not the scale itself that's a problem. It's your beliefs around what the number on the scale means and the relationship you have with that number. It's that you completely miss just how kick-ass your body can be when your only measure of success is weighing less. And listen, it's not your fault. The scale number has been shoved down our throats as the marker for success, progress, milestones. I'm not against the scale. I'm against what it represents to the majority of women. I'm against the power we give it. We've been conditioned to believe the lower the number, the better, the sexier, the healthier, the leaner, when in reality, that toned and defined and capable body you envision actually likely weighs more than what you think. Would you rather Oh, here we go. Would you rather have your dream body that potentially weighs more or your dream weight that doesn't look at all like your dream body? In many cases, yes, that number going down is an indicator of progress in the right direction, but I believe the relationship you hold with that number matters. It's a tool, data, guidance for decisions, but it should I have 2 screenshots I had to, like, swipe,
Oh.
and now I'm lost. Oh, but it should not leave you feeling powerless or derail you. The best decision I ever made for my well-being, outer and inner, was to break up with all scales. It started because I was wow, this is a long caption. It started because I was fed the fuck up with being and feeling let down, discouraged, pressured every time I stepped on one, including ones that showed muscle versus body fat. So for over a year, I didn't step on one at all. Here's what happened. It forced me to pay attention to the seemingly insignificant daily wins, but led to the bigger wins, develop a way of eating that felt good and nourished me both physically and soulfully. Bye bye binge eating. focus on getting stronger in my workouts, work towards a mind and body I actually like, moves well, and feels like my best self. When this happens, I promise you, you won't give a fuck about how much you weigh. When you stop aiming for a lower number and instead start aiming to get stronger, more mobile, live longer, that's when fitness and fat loss become more enjoyable and less stressful. Boom. That was long. Holy cow. but but so many good things can come from taking a
Yes.
break from the scale, learning to like disconnect from that number. I always, in the beginning, when working with people, I always make people not step on the scale for like months. And we work on the relationship that they have with the scale. And it forces them to look at other measures of progress
I
or
love
metrics
that.
for progress.
Yep. Love it. Love it. I actually might start doing that. I I would say the majority of the women I have with me right now really don't do much with the scale unless they're a power lifter and they have a weight class that they're trying to maintain or whatever. Or sometimes they're trying to go up a weight class, whatever. So when weight classes get involved, the scale has to have some part in that. But they are also very acutely aware of how not feeding your body well and not doing the things affects their strength, and ultimately in powerlifting the strength and the number is what's most important. So it's kind of that weird dichotomy there where like we have to have some kind of a something going on with the scale, but at the same time when you're a strength athlete, this scale is more just a technicality than it is, we don't do it for aesthetic reasons, I guess is what I'm saying. But I definitely know that I have a couple that just the scale just will ruin their day. And so it's like we just don't. And I even in my check-ins, like my weekly check-ins, there's a question that says like have you logged your weight in the last whatever, like 2 weeks or something. And then there's options for yes, no, and coach, we don't do that or something. Like everybody's got the
Nice.
option of like, we're just not even, this isn't even a thing we want to do. And,
Mm.
whatever. So it's like, but I kind of like the idea of just, no, we're just not like, not even an option. We're just
Yeah.
not. We're just not.
And it depends on the person, right? Like if
Hmm.
someone so like Kiana, for example, she has never had an issue with it. It doesn't phase her like when it's just like data for her. Like same thing with tracking calories, tracking macros.
Hmm.
It's just like black and white, point blank. Like it's just
Yeah.
data to see what's going on. Okay, if I like how you have said before, like the science aspect, like if
Hmm.
your weight goes up, it's like getting curious, like why did it go
Yeah.
up? Or like if it went down, why did it go down? And so like getting curious about it that way. So it totally depends on the type of person. And I feel
Yeah.
like I attract a lot of women who like the scale ruins their day. That's
Yeah.
the only measure of progress. They step on it all of the time, and it's like, "Oh, if it's gone up 2 pounds, I gotta tighten the rules, and I gotta not eat as much,
Yes.
I gotta eat less."
Restrict. Hmm.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
those are the type of people that I'm, like, really talking to. If you step on the
Absolutely.
scale and it doesn't matter or it's just data, like, you are that is great. That's awesome because
Yep.
you're at a point where it's fine if you
Yeah.
step on the scale every
Yeah.
day, right?
Like,
Like, it's
that's a healthy place to be. Like, to
yes, exactly.
not put that pressure on it and to not give it all that power because, like, I've made a couple of posts before where I'm like, it's literally just this little piece of metal that probably costs like 20 bucks sitting on your bathroom floor. Why does that get to dictate your day? Why does that get to control your feelings and how you think about all the cool shit that your body can do? Why is that the thing that ruins it? Like, when you think of it in that sense, it almost seems silly, you
I
know?
know, it's this it's inanimate object, and it's like we let it ruin our day and
Yes.
dictate the choices we
Yes.
make, our attitude, our mood, and
Yep.
it's like now it's like just mind-blowing to me
Yep.
that we have come to that, and
Yeah.
and I think it's because of course, the diet industry.
Yeah.
Weight Watchers, I'm gonna call out
Oh,
Stanford Profile,
girl.
I'm gonna call out what others? I'm trying to just any diet, I guess, where they're or coach having you step on the scale every day,
Mhm.
and if you're looking to get a coach and a trainer and they don't ask you about this, they don't ask you, "Hey, how's your relationship with the scale?
Mhm.
Do you step on it? What's your what happens when you step
Yeah.
on it?" Right? Like, they don't ask you those questions, and it
That's
just blows my mind.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It's just, you know, I I have had I currently do. I have someone in my head that I'm thinking of right now, but also in the past, like especially because I'm in my 40s, so I attract a lot of women that are like late 30s and for like kind of roughly my age. And back in the day, like the 90s and then early 2000s, you remember, it's just like Weight Watchers in particular was like having to go and publicly get on that scale at the Weight Watchers meeting and have people either cheer for you or not. And like it's almost, it reminds me so much of when we did that episode about The Biggest Loser.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
that.
yeah, and like just having them get on. And the things I think that like part of what we saw in that show is very, very, very representative of what would happen to women in the couple of days leading up to their Weight Watchers meeting. And it was, I'm going to get on this scale in public and I need this scale to look lower. So I'm going to do anything in my power to make that scale go lower, whether it's starving myself, whether it's dehydrating, whether it's killing myself on the treadmill, whatever, like all these unhealthy, very disordered type behaviors, but it was all in the name of making that number go down because this program was putting this kind of pressure, and it's just, oh, it just
Body
makes
weight, like scale weight, does not equal, so, like, weight loss doesn't equal fat loss,
yep,
and it doesn't equal a faster metabolism, like,
yep,
or, better at building muscle and changing the shape of your body, like, it does it's totally different. Like, when people think, "Oh, my weight loss, my weight has
mhm,
gone down," they're maybe also equating it to fat loss, or maybe they don't know that, but they're, like, thinking that means my body's getting smaller or my body is
yes,
changing, when it doesn't mean that at all. You could be losing weight, but your metabolism's slowing the fuck down,
yep,
and you actually then eventually starting to gain weight, and, you're
yeah.
just adding fire to that.
Yeah, and I think it's just when we say weight, that's like an arbitrary thing. Like I said before, that scale is measuring everything. Like that weight is blood, bones, water, muscle,
Yes,
fat.
everything.
And so when you see weight loss, it really if you're using those tactics like I just said, like these extreme type of tactics, weight loss truly is weight loss. Like you very likely could be losing muscle while you're at it. You very, whatever. And weight loss shouldn't ever be the goal. Fat loss possibly could be the goal. Muscle gain might be the goal, but to make sure that we're tracking the right things so that the metric that we actually want to change or modify is the one that's changing or modifying. And if fat loss is the goal, all this starvation stuff is not going to cut it because that's only going to make weight loss, not fat loss. And
Right.
so, yeah, so it's like making sure that we are tracking the better metrics than just the scale to make sure that if that's the goal, then that's what's actually happening. So, with that said, what are some other metrics besides the scale that we should be looking for?
And then really quickly too, not all scales are created equal, so if you step on
Mm.
a scale, you gain 2 pounds, you can step on another scale and the same and that you've lost 2 pounds too. So that's something to just keep in mind.
Yes. No,
Well,
that is such a real thing, going back to the powerlifting thing, like, when I used to be very, very, very close to my weight class, and that's maybe a time for another conversation, but it definitely messed with my head. I had to go up a weight class because I was becoming very obsessive over the numbers and things because I mean, partly because it was too low of a body weight for my body, and so I went up to what's now a healthy range. But one of the things that would be such a mind fuck is how do I know if my bathroom scale is actually even accurate? And then I'm going to go on this like professional calibrated whatever scale that the powerlifting federation has, and it might say something totally different. And it's such a mind
yeah,
fuck to think something only to go to your doctor's office or to go to whatever and have it say something completely different.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, step 1, the first step that I would say and the first thing to start with is to either A, throw your scale away, or B, have someone hide it,
Mhm.
or C, if you have that, I hate the word discipline, but if you have that, like, discipline to just not step on the scale, or when that urge, you see it, you're gonna wanna step on it, especially if
Right.
you're used to stepping on it. So, if you know that you'll be fine, I mean, you don't have to throw it away, but I would say out of sight, out of mind with that, like, get rid of it.
Literally was about to say out of sight, out of mind. You took it
Yes,
right out of my brain.
of course. Doesn't surprise me. But, yeah, so it's like, don't don't step on it, especially like we said, if the only thing that happens is you get frustrated, discouraged, all of those
Mhm.
things, right? So, we want you to not step on the scale, and I would say give it I mean, I would say 6 months to a year, but, like, 3 months minimum
Mhm.
of not stepping on the scale at all. And then what you could do is, I mean, a couple different things like we've talked about before, measurements, or which also like is kind of measurements, yes, but they can kind of get skewed depending on like,
Mhm.
it's usually the exact spot. If you move it any which
Yes.
way, it's going to be
It's gonna be
bigger or
different.
smaller. So it's
Mhm.
like, I don't even, that's not even the first thing that I would recommend, but
Yeah.
yeah, you
I
just
have
never know.
I have after we're done talking about these other ways to measure progress, I have one that I was gonna ask you about if you've ever used, but
Ooh,
the
okay.
pitfall to it though is exactly what you just said, which is what
Mm,
reminded me is the
yes.
how difficult it is to
Consistency.
be consistent with it.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
my god,
but
so hard. Yeah.
anyway.
And then how your clothes are fitting and how you
Mhm.
feel. I mean, clothes
Yeah,
is hard
man.
too because things like stretch out, whatever, but like overall, you could use that. And also, I want to note here, I had made a post about this a couple years ago and I've thought about bringing it back, but not living in the past of like where you want to be with that and trying to fit into clothes,
Ugh.
you like, we don't have to fit into clothes, clothes fit us, right? So it's like, if you have
Yes.
to get some different clothes, like, get some different clothes that you feel confident in what you have and what you wear, right? And so people always, like, hold on to clothes that they wanna try and fit in.
Yep.
So just to bring that, point up. And
Yes.
then taking photos, right? So it's like, as long as we've talked about there's like pros and cons with this, but like at least the benefit to it is that if you do it in a way where it's like exact angle, close, everything, the good thing is that I have had people where they look at it and they're like, oh shit, like you can see muscle
Mhm.
here. Or, like I didn't know, I didn't, because you see yourself every day,
Yeah.
right? So it's like when you have those, that can be something that you can, work towards too.
Yep.
But then I think I said this, just how you feel, how your body
Mhm.
feels, and then, of course, focusing on getting stronger in the gym, focusing on increasing your weight, focusing on, like, how your relationship with food is and
Yeah.
your how your relationship with yourself is and your thought patterns. That's not really measuring progress, but you can,
No,
focus on.
but still, and like even things like how are you recovering in between those workouts?
Oh,
If
yeah, for sure.
you like when you go to do your next workout, if you're feeling good and you're ready to go, then that's a great sign that your body is healthy and doing good things. If you notice that you're about to go into your next workout and you're still feeling run down and whatever, then that's a big sign to either one, look at are you like overtraining yourself, or two, are you fueling your body appropriately for the exercise that you're doing, because we should not go into workouts feeling that way. We should go into workouts feeling recovered and feeling good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think about that.
Yeah. And even sleep, like on that same line, like a lot of times when people aren't feeding their bodies well and treating their bodies well, sleep gets very negatively impacted. And then once they do start giving their body everything it needs, sleep tends to improve. Even things like libido. And,
Yeah,
like, there's all these, like, basic human functions that should be happening that sometimes we don't always necessarily correlate to how I'm eating or how I'm exercising. But, like, if your body feels good, if it's fueled well, if it's healthy, then all you should want to have sex. You should
yeah,
sleep good. You should, that's how it should be for a human.
yeah,
So it's, some of those things that, yeah, I think we don't always necessarily look at, but those are really good indicator. Digestion is another one, really good indicators of
yeah,
actual health. If
yeah,
you're constantly constipated or the opposite, there's something going on there that needs to be addressed. So
yeah,
it's like these things are such good indicators of health that have absolutely nothing to do with the scale. And I think sometimes get like forgotten in the big
yeah.
picture of
Yeah,
progress,
for
you know?
sure. Also stress, you might notice that your stress goes way down or maybe you don't notice it, but stress is a zero-calorie weight gainer. I heard someone say that once. Weight or like fat loss
Love
gainer,
that.
I guess. Yeah, and same with lack of
That's
sleep too. We could say the
so
same
good.
thing. Yep,
Yes.
and, when you're that stressed and plus you're adding the stress of the scale and you're stepping on it every day and that's instant stress and then you get
Yep.
frustrated, of course, and all
Yes.
of that, it's like that's only gonna contribute to not being able to lose body fat or the weight loss resistance or,
Mhm.
like, having the progress that you're wanting to have progress with. It's like
Yeah.
stress of every day alone
Yeah.
is going to contribute to that.
Yes, and one of the things that I talked to about a lot, like I usually bring it up at least monthly in check-ins, is I always ask them to give me one thing that is like a low level, like not a huge pressing issue type stress. Because I think when we think of stress, sometimes we think of like the big, family drama or work drama or finances or, you know, a sick family member. We think of those kinds of things, but we forget about the low level stuff that is just constantly sort of percolating right under the radar. And so I always ask them to give me one thing that has been on your to-do list for quite a while that you need to deal with, but you haven't dealt with it. Tell me what it is, and then I am going to keep following up and asking if you've dealt with it. And they tell me things like cleaning out closets. They tell me things like, just like this basic, like, it's
I
just
like
those
that.
life things where you're just like, every time you see it, you kind of feel like, oh, I got to deal with that. And it
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily, I think, always click in our brains that that's a stress, but it is because it's one of those things that you're constantly reminding yourself you need to deal with. And it's this constant reminder that you haven't dealt with it. And so I'm trying to help them have the accountability to actually take care of it and get that off the list, and how like freeing it is to have something that's been on that list for a long time off, like all those
Yeah.
low level stressors. And I feel like the scale is kind of like that too. It's like those low level stressors that we don't always associate with stress that really adds to the bigger picture of things. And yeah.
Yeah, it adds up. What
Mm.
other measures of progress is there that we're
So
missing?
let me see. I feel like we've covered all the ones I have on my list over here. Even things, what about like our blood work? Like when you go to the doctor and you get your physical and you start seeing improvements in, even if your numbers are technically within the normal range of, like, say, cholesterol or something, like when you go to your next physical, is it more towards the middle of the normal range or whatever? So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a bad thing, like a warning sign, like, oh, I have high cholesterol, whatever. It can, just even comparing your own blood work over the years and things just to see that, like, I'm on the right path.
Yeah, or if you're someone who, like, checks hormones or, like, if you're
Mhm.
checking your hormones by in any sense, like, that's more than to like, it changes the if even if your goal is, like, overall weight loss or
Mhm.
fat loss or changing the shape of your body, like, it just changes that goal from that to health and
Health.
longevity and
Mhm.
seeing it that way. And then again, there's no like end point and there's no timeline deadline. Like then you can detach from that and not then get disappointed when you expect to have this goal of fat loss or weight loss, whatever, in 6, 12 months. If you're not where you want to be,
Right.
it's like, okay, like that's okay. Like it just changes the feel of it and
Mhm.
changes like that health and longevity goal,
Yeah.
which usually most of the time is easier to stick to over time.
Yes. Absolutely. I would 100% agree with that. And it's, health should be the ultimate goal. Like, even when you ask people who want to lose weight, when you ask them why, while we know that there's like a vanity side of it, we're humans, that's normal. We all want to look good. But a lot of times when you ask people why, they point to, I want to be healthier for my kids, for my grandkids, for, whatever. It always about want to be healthier. So be like super honest with yourself. If be healthier is the goal, then use the metrics that show you if you're getting healthier. And the scale isn't going to do that. Um, kind of on those same lines, the one I was going to ask you about, are you familiar with the waist to hip ratio test? And it
No.
it is like, so basically the idea here is, because BMI and how BMI kind of sucks.
Oh,
Um,
BMI. No one should be using BMI.
no, BMI's trash, but doctors do still use it. And in some of my reading and things I was doing to get ready for today's episode, one of the things that they talked about was that doctors do still use it, and it's not necessarily because they don't agree that it's trash, but the vast majority of the research that we have out there was based off of BMI. So in order to follow the research, we are
Oh,
still following you know what I mean?
yeah.
But one of the things where a big area where BMI really gets really jacked up is for people who are building muscle. Because like BMI, if y'all don't know, it's literally just like your height compared to your weight. It has nothing to do with what your weight is made up of. So you could have somebody like a super low body fat percentage and super jacked, and this thing will tell them that they're obese because like it's just literally their weight versus their height.
Ilona Ilona Mar or
Yes.
something.
Uh-huh.
She's been she was on Dancing with the Stars, and then I
Mhm.
think she kind of blew up before that, but, like, she talks about this and how, like, according to
Mhm.
BMI to her BMI, I think she's overweight according to that, but
Yeah.
she's, like, literally pure
She is
muscle.
so jacked. Yeah, she's an Olympic. Is she at lacrosse? What does she play?
Rugby.
Rugby. Thank you. Rugby. Yeah. Like she's literally an Olympian. Like what are we doing?
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
so that's where the race to hip raced I can't talk waist to hip ratio test kind of comes in, and it has its pitfalls, but from what I've read it seems like most people kind of agree that this would be a better measure of like actual health, longevity, and whatever, because this, rather than focusing just purely on the weight of the person, it focuses specifically on where does this person hold their fat. And so it gives us a much better indication if we have more of like that visceral fat around the organs as
Oh,
opposed to
yeah.
which is really that is the fat we need to be worried about. What my chubby cheeks or my arms, whatever, that's really not a concern. What is a concern as far as health goes is the fat that's around our organs. And so by using the waist to hip ratio, it gives us a better indicator of is that the area where we have more of our fat, and that needs to be the focus on fat loss needs to be that, not worrying about people like whatever some of the words that people use for their body parts. I can't take like the fupa thing. I can't stand when people
I
call their like
know.
aren't bingo wings. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Bat
I hate
wings,
that.
yeah.
Yes. And so like so those are not the things we should be concerning ourselves with. And so
Yeah.
basically there are actually, websites that you can put, like it'll calculate your waist to hip ratio for you and whatever and let you know, like, kind of where you fall within this, but I pulled up, like, like, official directions. It says, "Stand, relax, feet together, arms at side, and use a non-stretch tape measure parallel to the floor, and you're gonna measure the narrowest part of your torso," or some protocols say the midpoint between your lower rib and your iliac crest, which is, like, that top of the hip bone. And then at the end of a normal exhale, that's where you're gonna measure it. And so this is where the pitfall comes in though, like you mentioned earlier. Getting that measuring tape in the exact same spot every time to make sure that every time you do it, you are comparing apples to apples is so tricky. But so you measure that, and then you're gonna measure your hip, basically the widest part around your butt. You're gonna measure that. And then it's just the waist measurement divided by the hip measurement. So, for example, like the example that they give is if your waist is 28 inches, hips are 38 inches, your waist hip ratio is 0.74. And for women, anything above 0.85 is flagged as being higher risk. And this actually, I even read on American Heart Association also had a thing on this about how when that ratio gets to 1.0 or higher, it had very clear indicators towards women being at higher risk for heart attacks and things like that. Like, so that's where I was like, this kind of stuff is a lot more like indicative of actual health versus this random stupid BMI number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also, yeah, it seems like it'd be a better way than like, when we're talking about that versus BMI,
Hmm.
yeah, of, like, health or even
Yeah.
weight, I guess, but, yeah, I've never heard of that, I've never done that, I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah, is it new? This must be, like, fairly new?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how new it is, but it was probably about maybe a year or 2 years ago that it first got on my radar. It was somebody on one of the big accounts on Instagram. Somebody was talking
Oh,
about it,
okay.
and so I looked it up, and also actually one of my clients I think saw the same thing, and she actually is the one who found the website where you can just put it in and it'll calculate it for you. But yeah, and so like just because it's talking more specifically about like where our body fat is distributed, which is a much stronger indicator of actual health risks or not, as opposed to just your weight on the scale, you know?
Yeah, yeah, okay, and a couple other things too that I just thought of is, first of all, like, if you're someone who you wanna get away from the scale, but, like, the number is, is mostly data, then finding a scale, finding, like, a eVolt or InBody or something that, like,
Hmm.
shows not just body fat, muscle mass, I mean, yes, all of that, but the difference between visceral,
Yes.
subcutaneous, like, I know
Yes.
eVolt and, like, some gyms have those that you can, like,
Hmm.
go check out and pay, like, a small fee to do, but that will then show you, yes, visceral fat and what your weight is made
Mhm.
up of, and that can
Yeah.
also help, like, change your view on it too, like, that can
Uh-huh.
help. But so
Yeah.
there's that. The other thing, so 2 other things. One thing I forgot, but the second thing is that hopefully it'll come to me, is that grip strength is becoming an indicator of
Yes, I
health and
saw that.
longevity. So, that can be something too, like, if you can't open a can of something or if you like holding things, like, that's something that you can work on too is
Mhm.
grip strength.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool. And there was something that it's been a very long time since I looked it up, but it's kind of on the same lines where it talked about like it was with legs. I don't know if it was like quad measurement, maybe? Like measure around like your thigh. There was something about how like that measurement was tied to like a longevity thing, like longer life based
Right.
on
Oh,
yeah.
this also reminded me of something, and that's that hopefully by listening to us, you will also gather that we're not just about fat loss, we're more about
Mhm.
muscle building and muscle gaining because that's going to drive fat loss more. It's going to drive metabolism and health and longevity. I was listening to Dr. Gabrielle Lyon,
Oh
and
yeah, I
she
love
talked
her.
about how like we don't have an obesity problem. We have
Mhm.
under
Under-muscled. Yep.
problem. And there's been times when I've had people, like, they are tracking macros or, like, doing all these things, but they're not lifting weights, they're not trying to add
Yeah.
muscle to their body, and at some point, it, like I mean, that's what
Yep.
drives fat loss and
Yeah.
metabolism.
Yes. Yes.
So
All of it.
and then with that is when you step on the scale, there's been many times when my muscle has gone up, body fat has gone down, and my weight has gone up or my weight
Yeah.
has stayed the same. So that's another
Yes.
point to it is that, like, you don't know what your weight is made up of, and you could be doing the things that for the body that you want,
Mhm.
but because you're so wrapped up in the number on the scale being less,
Yep.
you're gonna
You're
start
like
to go the other direction.
sabotaging yourself.
Sabotaging, yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And like from like a perspective of like an older person, like I am as of yesterday, I'm 47 now. Like I'm like looking at that number 50 is that's all it makes you feel a little something, you know? And so it's like, I'm thinking I'm in the mindset now where I'm thinking more about what I'm going to be like when I'm 70 and 80 and what decisions and behaviors do I need right now to make sure that when I'm 70 and 80, my son and my grandkids aren't having to visit me in a nursing home or whatever. Like, I want to be active. I want to be traveling. I want to be playing with them. I want to be up and down on the ground with my dog. I want, like, that's the life that I want for myself later. So, the biggest thing that I can do for myself now is get as much muscle on my body now as I possibly can, because that is what's going to be carrying me into an active life then.
Yes.
And I think that that is so, especially for a lot of women my age and even a little bit younger than me. Like, I am right on the cusp of like Gen X and millennial. I identify as a zennial, like the X, the millennial,
Wait,
because
Gen X is
Gen
above you?
or yes. So
Okay.
X goes up to, well, I'm technically X, but I'm right on the line. So I think X
Oh, gotcha.
stops at like 1980, I want to say, if you're born in 1980 or earlier. And then millennial is like 1980 up to whatever. I'm 78. I'm in October of 78. So I'm like right at the very end of X. And so I tend to relate a lot, sometimes more to the millennial things because, like, I guess Gen X, like, goes all the way back into, like, the 60s, like, the mid-60s or something when people were born, so, like, I feel like me compared to someone who was born in, like, 1965, like, I feel like we're 2 very different people even though it's technically the same generation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I very much kind of relate a little more to, like, the millennials than I do the younger Gen Xers, but the people around me, though, are some of them are more solidly in Gen X, you know what I mean? Like, the people who were born only a few years before me, where we're very close in age, but so, we went through so much of the 90s, like, everything's low fat and, it's just crazy the stuff that was in the media back then that we didn't think anything about, Tyra Banks on calling these models, like telling them that they're too overweight and they're whatever, when to look at them now and I'm like, oh my God, they look perfect. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? But that was just the norm back then. And it's like been ingrained. And so trying to help women my age or a little bit older than me in particular understand that shrinking themselves and starving themselves and worrying about the scale is not the play right now, because you are at an age where muscle and getting strong is 1,000 times more important, more beneficial, more everything for your own future in the next 10, 20, 30 years than shrinking will ever be, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just, it's sometimes I feel like I'm beating my head against a wall.
Well, yeah, some people are gonna be listening probably, and they're not gonna see it like that. They're like, are not gonna care. They're not
Yeah.
gonna see it like that, which sucks because it's like we just wanna shake people into that, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's something else I was gonna say, but again, I forgot.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me look at my notes here real quick to see if I feel like we've mostly covered all the points that I had.
Yeah, I think so
Oh, I
too.
did want to say too about the waist to hip ratio thing. I don't think I sometimes I don't know if I say things out loud or if I just say things in my head. I don't know. Does anybody else have that? Sometimes, like, I'll even say to my husband sometimes, I'm like, I don't know if I said this out loud. So just in case,
Dude,
I'm going to say it again
yes.
because I don't know if I said
There's
it or
been
not.
times that I'll, like either maybe it's something that I'm going to say or going to do, and then I don't do or say it, and then, like, Kiana asks me or something, and I'm like, "Oh, I thought it, like, I thought about doing it," or, like, I was going to, I
Yes.
don't know. Yeah.
No, that's so real. So again, if I already said this, forgive me. But the how often we should be doing that. Like, that is like measurements and things are not the kind of thing that we should be doing every day or maybe even not every week.
Good point.
I feel like that's like maybe a monthly thing, if that, like you're not gonna have a ton of change in any direction, whether it's, gaining muscle or losing inches that is going to really change that ratio number very much. So making
Yeah.
sure, you're not stressing yourself out over yet another set of numbers unnecessarily.
Yes, seriously, and then also, like because if you think about it, a month, 2 month, 3 months, I mean, even
Mhm.
6 months to a year is such a short time frame
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of everything, so, like, looking at it as
Yeah.
a trend or, like, an overall thing,
Yep.
and also, I know I've talked about this in a previous episode, I don't remember which one, but for women who have, like, a regular period,
Mm.
if you're weighing yourself and we're at a point where it's a healthy relationship, it's just data, all of that. I want to encourage you to not compare your weight day to day or week to week, but instead zoom out, compare week 1 of January to week 1 of February to week 1 of
Yes.
March. Like, so you're doing it,
Yes.
you're zooming out, you're looking at the months and week to week because of the fact that we do not
Mhm.
operate the same as men. We cycle
Yep.
every 28 days. The weight is going to change drastically, like, day to day, week to week based on our period. So,
Yeah.
that's something that if you are comparing that, like, it is good data still, like, day to day and looking at it, like, when we're seeing, like, food
Mhm.
and nutrition and, like, salts and things and alcohol and things like that, and you can, like, think about it in terms of that, but also zooming out and looking at it in a trend of that way can also be
Yeah.
eye-opening.
Yeah. Really. Truly. Like when you're looking, like comparing the actual like apples to apples. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that that's also a really great suggestion in terms of helping people. Like, sometimes you see people like nothing will change, or they say, quote, nothing changes. And it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they're literally just talking about the scale. They're not looking at any other sense of progress. But like internally, things are still changing and happening. Every single workout you do benefits your body, whether the scale reflects it or not. Every time
Yeah.
you choose a fiber filled, high protein meal, internally, great things are happening, even if the scale doesn't represent it. So, helping people to kind of stay the course with consistency and not give up because they don't see changes in 2 weeks or whatever. No, I mean, we need to
Yeah.
literally give it months so you can compare that week each month, or whatever based on your own cycle. I think that's a really, really great
Yeah.
suggestion because it
Yeah.
truly is a long-term thing.
Yeah. And if you've been in this, like, for if it's been years that you've been stepping on the scale and it's been frustrating, or it's been years that you haven't been working out and you haven't been eating as healthy, like, it takes time, right? So give yourself the same amount of years or double that even. It's gonna be easy because you're gonna wanna give up, right? But
Yeah,
if we think about it in terms of, like, and even, like, in our brain, like, thought processes, if you think a certain way your entire life, it's gonna be hard to change that thought
sure.
pattern. Like, you have to give yourself that almost, like, that entire same amount of time to break through that.
Right.
And so, same thing is true when we're looking at, like, results or trying to, change our body composition.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. And then I think my one final note, because you kind of touched on it already, and then I don't know, I probably started talking about something else. This is like I know people, I know actually several people who are around my age, so women in their 40s who are
30s?
from our 30s. Um, that's how I refer to my late 30s, early 40s women, my 30s. Um,
Yes.
but no, I know women in our 40s who are still looking at their high school jeans hanging in their closet. Friends, can I just say, I actually made a post on this not too long ago, which is why this is like when you mentioned it, it came to the forefront of my head. When you were in high school wearing those jeans, you were literally a child.
A
A
child.
child. You were
Your bone
not
structure was
a
different.
grown woman when you were wearing those jeans in high school. You now have a grown woman body, which arguably is a whole lot hotter than the child
Yeah,
body that you had in high school. So let's get rid of them. Like if you have those jeans in your closet or whatever it might be, skirt, dress, jeans, shirt, whatever, if you still have things in your closet from when you were literally a child, please donate. There is an actual child who can wear those.
make
Donate
room
them.
for new.
Get rid of it because a
Mhm.
grown woman's body is going to be 1,000 times hotter than any child's body. So, let that go. Quit comparing your adult self to your child self just because you used to fit in that. I also used to like, I'm sorry, I almost got very vulgar. I will stop. There's a lot of things I almost used to do. Like you were also a baby and used to suck your mom's boob. Like you're gonna go do that, Like it's ridiculous.
Whoa.
I know. I'm being absurd, but I was like, my brain was like, I also used to, and I'm like, what things did I do when I was a kid? And I'm like, oh, we could get like,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things we used
yeah,
to do or have or whatever when we were young that doesn't make sense for our adult selves. So why would those genes be any different? You know?
yeah, that's true.
So let it go, ladies. Let it go. You're
Go.
more than whatever number on those genes says.
Yes,
So there's my random rant.
yes, I love it. I love it. So true, though.
Ugh. All
Well,
right. Well,
with that,
yeah. I think we're coming up on an hour and a half, so we should probably save
oh, shit,
save
yep,
our questions, you think, for next time.
cut us off.
Yeah.
Cutting us off.
That's it. Yeah, we were gonna do some ask us anything questions, but
Yes, so maybe next time we'll do Ask Us Anything, and with the
yeah.
holidays coming up, we should do something around,
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
holiday
And
stuff.
holiday stuff. And I feel like you probably do some of the same like types of conversations I do around the holidays and how like we can use the holidays
Fuck
to
yeah.
speed up that metabolism and to set us
Yes.
up for awesome shit in the new year. So I think that
Yes.
that would be a
That would be a
great,
good episode.
great topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Well,
Alright.
I hope I'll say happy Halloween, but by the time you hear this, I hope you had a great Halloween. And
Yes.
yeah,
Eat
that's it.
totally fine. You can have some Halloween candy. It's not gonna
Absolutely.
yeah, it's not gonna derail you.
Halloween candies are literally like designed for portion control. Like you don't you could have a
What do you
couple of
mean?
pieces. Well, like, you get like the little snack size Snickers so you don't end up eating like
Oh,
multiple
I think there's a
giant
lot of
bars.
places now that give out full-size candy bars.
Not in this economy. No, we'll see.
Oh.
No, I'm sure there probably definitely are.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I go, I purposely, I think we talked about this before. Like I purposely go shopping right the day after Halloween when all that stuff's on sale, and I buy multiple
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get
bags.
some Reese's Pumpkins for
Uh-huh.
sure.
And then I just keep them, and they just sit on the shelf. And when I want like a sweet snack or whatever after dinner, that's I go and grab it. It's like already like portioned out for me and
Yes.
for what I need.
Nice.
So anyway,
That's a good
enjoy
idea.
it, y'all.
Okay, that's all for now.
All
Have
right. See y'all
a good
next
rest of your
time.
day. Bye for now.
Bye.